The film starts with Andy Sachs going to an awards ceremony with her colleagues at the Vanguard. However, just before Andy is announced to accept an award, she and her whole team receive news of their termination via text. Andy goes to get her award but gives an impassioned speech over the firing and how journalism is still as important as ever. At Runway, Miranda Priestley is dealing with the fallout of a scandal due to the company appearing to endorse a sweatshop company called Speed Fash. She is aided by Nigel, as well as her new assistant Amari, as she attends a fashion event in an attempt to divert attention away from the situation. Miranda is also now married to a quartet member named Stuart. She gets a call from Irv Ravitz, the chairman of Runway, who wants her to handle the debacle as soon as possible. Irv's son Jay gets a text with a video of Andy's speech, which he shows to his father. Andy is shown living in a crappy apartment and gets help from her friend Lily. She gets a call from Irv, who is moved by her speech and is offering her a new job back at Runway in the features department to essentially help Miranda. Andy runs this by her work colleagues, who encourage her to go for it. Andy returns to Runway and reunites with Nigel, but Miranda hardly remembers her. The three go to Dior, where Emily now works after leaving Runway. She is stunned to see her old colleagues in a new higher position. The group tries to negotiate, during which Andy notices tensions between Miranda and Emily. Emily wants advertising in Runway for Dior to keep them afloat. Miranda makes it clear to Andy that rehiring her was not Miranda's idea, and makes her take the train back home. Back at Runway, Andy meets Charlie, aka Charlie the Chair, as well as her own personal assistant, Jin Chow. She also has lunch with Nigel, who says that Runway is barely a magazine anymore since everything has gone digital, and even Miranda has to resort to posting clickbait articles or short-form content. Andy also sees that Miranda has had to deal with HR complaints. Andy stays up late to write an article that helps sway opinion on Runway back towards the positive side, especially with Irv. She is disappointed that Miranda doesn't show gratitude for her work. Andy learns from Charlie that Miranda has always wanted an interview with Sasha Barnes, a recently divorced billionaire who took a huge portion from her ex-husband Benji. Andy grinds hard with the articles but isn't getting the views Irv wants. When backed into a corner, Andy lies to Miranda and says that she got a meeting with Sasha, but she makes extensive phone calls to actually get in touch with Sasha and scheduling an interview. Andy visits Emily for a brief catch-up. She tells Andy about how she's divorced with 2 kids and how she believes fashion is now more lucrative in retail. Emily also makes a comment about Andy's eyebrows. Lily takes Andy to go look for a better apartment. They go to an open house, where Andy meets Peter, who helped design the building. They hit it off, which Lily notices. Once Andy nabs an interview date with Sasha, she and Miranda travel to her villa for a sit-down, where Sasha reveals she is happier and more successful after leaving Benji and is engaged to a new guy, which she allows Runway to break to the public. Andy's friend Talia from the Vanguard is talking to a publisher for Andy to write a tell-all book about working for Miranda, but she is afraid that Miranda would find out and crucify her. Over the weekend, Miranda invites Andy to her lake house, where she has invited Irv, Jay, and other celebrity guests like Ronnie Chang, Karl Anthony Towns, and Jenna Bush Hager. Miranda talks to Andy privately about how Irv is planning to promote Miranda to global head of content, while the features department will be getting a significant budget increase. Andy, Miranda, and Nigel go to a birthday celebration for Irv, with Peter joining Andy as her date. They also discover that Emily is dating Benji Barnes, though it's clear she doesn't love him. Things take a sharp turn when Irv collapses from a fatal heart attack in the middle of the party. After Irv's death, Jay takes over as chairman and arranges a meeting with Miranda and other executives over the future of Runway. Jin hides her phone by their table to record their entire conversation and bring it back to Andy. She finds out that Jay intends to gut most of Runway in a cost-cutting effort. As a result, Miranda has to start doing things like flying economy instead of first class. The stress of the situation causes Andy to lash out at Peter, and he decides to leave until she's chilled out. As everyone travels to Milan for Fashion Week, Andy goes behind Miranda's back to get help from Emily so that they can arrange a meeting between Benji and Jay in an effort to get Jay to sell Runway to Benji. However, Andy eventually feels compelled to come clean to Miranda, but she quickly calls it a betrayal. Andy doesn't know what she's talking about until Emily admits that she only agreed to help Andy so that Benji can buy Runway for Emily, as payback for Miranda pushing for her to leave the company and go to Dior. Miranda defends her actions by saying that Emily lacked creative vision. At a gala dinner, Miranda speaks to Benji, who has plans to turn Runway into an AI-driven medium, which doesn't sit right with Miranda. Meanwhile, Andy tells Talia that she will not do the book on Miranda, and she proceeds to make some phone calls. The Fashion Week event brings in Lady Gaga to perform music, which Miranda did as a reluctant favor since the two of them do not get on very well. As Miranda is set to deliver a big speech on the importance of Runway, she instead decides to let Nigel read it since he wrote it, and she feels as though she has taken him for granted. Jay goes to Benji and Emily's villa to discuss the sale, only for him to get a phone call and have him change his mind since he got a much better offer from another buyer. It turns out to be Sasha, who swooped in to save Runway and also gives Miranda the promotion she was promised. As Andy and Miranda leave Sasha's villa, Miranda says she knows all about the tell-all book and encourages Andy to write it and not skimp on any details. After returning to New York, Andy goes to see Peter and reconcile with him. She also later meets with Emily, who has dyed her hair blonde and has been dumped by Benji, and also has gone to work for Coach. Emily admits that she did call Andy one time after their time at Runway in an attempt to be friends, but Andy thought it was a pocket dial. They agree to start a friendship right there. Andy returns to Runway with a much nicer office and sees that Amari, Jin, and Charlie have all gotten promotions as well. She also learns from Nigel that it was he who sent Irv and Jay the video of her speech so that she can get rehired, saying Andy is always his girl. Andy then goes to deliver a new article to Miranda, who responds with her typical indifference, but she has a smile on her face when she actually reads it.